International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has said during the Best Exporter Award ceremony here in Algiers that the reforms of the national economy have enabled Algeria to rise to the third place in Africa. Algeria has expressed its deep disapproval of France's unexpected, ill-timed and counterproductive decision to support the autonomy plan for Western Sahara under Moroccan sovereignty, holding the French government as sole and full responsible for the repercussions. And the UN Security Council is to hold a briefing later today at the request of Algeria, China and Russia on the situation in the Middle East, including the humanitarian situation in the war-torn Gaza Strip. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail from Radio Algeria International. First, in a speech delivered at the ceremony for the second edition of the President of the Republic's Prize for the Best Exporter, which he presided over at the Abdeltaif Rahal Conference Center here in Algiers, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has said that the far-reaching reforms of the national economy have enabled it to rise to the third place in Africa. More details in this report by our colleague Jamal Silmani.
The President of the Republic said that Algeria had embarked on far-reaching and structural reforms to correct the dysfunctions noted in the economic sphere through the improvement of the business climate, promoting foreign trade, encouraging initiatives, adopting digital technology, and reforming the monetary policy, thereby meeting the demands on a global scale.
فالمؤشرات الإيجابية المسجلة في العديد من القطاعات تسمح لنا اليوم بأن نقول وبكل ثقة بأن قطار الإصلاحات يسير على الوجهة الصحيحة نحو تطوير الاقتصاد الوطني وتنويع مصادره والتقدم على مسار الانخراط في سلاسل القيم العالمية.
The President said that the positive indicators recorded in many sectors allowed to confidently say that the reforms are on the right track, adding that Algeria is advancing towards developing and diversifying the national economy, making strides in engaging in global value chains.
إن النهضة الاقتصادية التي تعيشها بلادنا تستلزم مواصلة الجهود وتكثيفها وتعزيز هذا المسار الاقتصادي الوطني بخطوات مكملة للمكاسب التي حققناها، وأذكر منها في هذه المناسبة إعادة رسم خريطة التجارة الخارجية للبلاد مما تقتضيه المنفعة الوطنية والتحديات الجيوسياسية في العالم، تحرير صادرات بعض القطاعات الإنتاجية التي فاقت قدراتها الإنتاجية الحاجيات الوطنية من على غرار مادة الزيت والسكر والعجائن، خلق قواعد لوجستية موجهة للتصدير على مستوى كل الأقطاب الاقتصادية، وفيه بوادر تاع خواص شفناهم اليوم لمساعدة للتصدير، توسيع شبكة البنوك الجزائرية إلى الخارج وبالأخص في إفريقيا.
President Abdelmajid Tebboune said that our country's economic revival requires continued and intensified efforts, saying that we must bolster this national economic path with steps that build upon our achievements. In this regard, he mentioned the following steps: restructuring the country's foreign trade map to align with national interests and global geopolitical challenges, liberalizing exports in sectors where production exceeds domestic demand, such as cooking oil, sugar, and pasta, establishing export-focused logistic bases across all economic hubs, and expanding Algerian banking networks internationally with a focus on Africa.
أنا على يقين بأن هذا التوجه المدروس بعناية والمتسم بالطموح والجرأة المستندة على الثقة في إمكانيات الجزائر والجزائريين والجزائريات هو توجه يفتح كل الأبواب أمامكم كمنتجين ومصدرين للمزيد من خلق الثروة وتوسيع مجالات استيعاب البطالة والرفع من قدرات الإنتاج في العديد من القطاعات. ومن النتائج التي حققتموها كل في مجاله إلا دليل على أن المناخ الاقتصادي أصبح بالفعل يوفر الحوافز الكفيلة بالوصول إلى النجاعة والتنافسية في جزائر ترفع من سقف تحدياتها.
The President of the Republic expressed confidence that the meticulously studied approach marked by ambition and courage and rooted in confidence in Algeria's potential will unlock several opportunities for producers and exporters to bring about more wealth, expand employment opportunities, and boost production capacities in many sectors. He also said that their achievements in their respective field are testament to an economic climate that now provides the necessary incentives for efficiency and competitiveness. Algeria is setting higher goals for itself, he said.
وتشهد الجزائر بداية استغلالها تزامنا مع تنفيذ هذه الرؤية على غرار مشروع منجم جارج بيلات والذي سيصنف الجزائر في مصف أكبر الدول المالكة لاحتياط الحديد في العالم. الاستراتيجية الكبرى استلام مشاريع ذات بعد قاري كالطريق الذي يربط تندوف وزويرات في موريتانيا ومشروع الطريق العابر للصحراء الرابط بين الجزائر وليغوس في نيجيريا والذي قررنا تحويل جزئه الجزائري إلى رواق اقتصادي.
President Abdelmadjid Tebboune said that Algeria is already beginning to exploit this infrastructure, such as the Garage Billet mine project, saying that the latter will place Algeria among the world's largest holders of iron reserves. Complementing these major strategic projects are other ones with a continental reach. Among these are the road linking Tindouf to Zouirat in Mauritania and the Trans-Saharan Highway project connecting Algeria to Lagos, Nigeria. The President also said it has been decided to transform the Algerian part of this highway into an economic corridor.
And the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmadjid Tebboune, has presided over a ceremony in Algiers during which 9 companies were rewarded as part of the President of the Republic's prize for the best exporter for the year 2023 in recognition of their efforts and contribution to the diversification and development of Algerian non-hydrocarbon exports. The ceremony took place at the Abdelatif Rahal International Center here in Algiers in the presence of members of the government, representatives of the professional associations, and heads of public and private companies. Saad Bougazi develops.
Tosyali Algerie, a company specializing in metal working, won the prize in the category of exporters of industrial products, while Intradis Algeria won the prize in the agricultural products exporters category. In the services category, the Clinica Group won the prize. The steel company Algerian Qatari Steel AQS won in the category of exporters to the African continent. The President of the Republic also presented the prize for the youngest exporter to Noureddin Messali, Director of Alteo Energy, which specializes in administrative services and corporate marketing. The prize for the best woman exporter went to Fatima Men'a, owner of Tolga El Baraka, specializing in the production of packaging products intended mainly for the food industry. Honorary certificates were also awarded to the companies Hikma Pharma Algerie, El Urjuanadat, and Wilri Ouzelagen. The President of the Republic's prize for the best exporter consists in the awarding of a commemorative shield and a certificate of merit awarded each year to the best exporter representing the following categories: exporters of industrial and pharmaceutical products, exporters of agricultural products, exporters of services, exporters to the African continent, the youngest exporter, and women exporters, according to the presidential decree creating this prize.
And Algeria has expressed its deep disapproval of France's unexpected, ill-timed and counterproductive decision to support the autonomy plan for Western Sahara, put forward by Morocco, saying that the Algerian government will draw all the consequences arising from this French decision, for which the French government alone bears full and complete responsibility. 3 of the 16 contenders for the presidential election of September 7 have fulfilled the conditions laid down by the organic law on the electoral system, according to a statement on Thursday by the chairman of the Independent National Authority, Ani Mohamed Sharfi. The candidates in question are Abdel Ali Hassani Sharfi or Sharif, Movement for the Society for Peace, Youssef Aouchiche, Socialist Forces Front, and Abdelmajid Tebboune. The candidates had submitted their nomination papers at the ANI headquarters last Thursday before being examined by the same authority, which, after announcing its decision on the preliminary list of candidates for the presidential election of September 7, transferred the candidates' files to the Constitutional Court, which will validate the final list of candidates and rule on any appeals without or within a maximum of 7 days. The Constitutional Court has begun following the announcement by the National Independent Electoral Authority, ANI, of the preliminary list of candidates for the presidential election of September 7, the examining of candidates' files, and the processing of appeals within a maximum of 7 days before announcing the final list of candidates. During a press conference, the president of ANI, Mohamed Sharfi, said that the applications of 3 of the 16 candidates for the nomination had been accepted, namely Abdel Ali Hassani Sharif, Movement for the Society for Peace, Youssef Aouchiche, Front of Socialist Forces, and Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. Let's listen to Mr. Sharfi.
The final list, whose files have been admitted by the ANI before their examination by the Constitutional Court, is a provisional result. The final results are those of the Constitutional Court. Among the 3 candidates, they were structured in parties, while the third one had already been elected in 2019 election, so he has sufficient experience.
Economic operators in the field of export, honored on Thursday in Algiers part of the President's Award for the Best Exporter of the Year 2023, affirmed their support for the government's approach to export promotion, aiming for non-oil exports to achieve better figures by 2030. In statements to the APS on the sidelines of the award ceremony in its 2nd edition, chaired by the President of the Republic, Ms. Abdelmajid Tebboune, at the International Conference Center, Abdel Latif Rahal, economic operators expressed their joy and pride after having obtained 3 prizes, which represent for them an extremely positive incentive to contribute to the development of their activities and to the promotion of national product. The Speaker of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, is to start today an official visit to the Republic of Tunisia at the invitation of the President of the Tunisian Assembly of Representatives of the People, Ibrahim Bouderbala, according to a statement from the lower house of parliament. This visit is another stop to explore opportunities for consolidating fraternal and friendly relations and strengthening joint parliamentary cooperation, concludes the statement. And a delegation from the Council of the Nation will take part in a regional workshop bringing together our parliamentary and executive leaders on gender equality in legislation and public policies, scheduled from 29 to 31st July in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, said a statement from the Upper House of Parliament. Organized by the Arab Women's Organization in collaboration with the German Agency for International Cooperation, JIZ, this workshop is intended as a space for consultation and exchange of expertise. The High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy of the European Union, Joseph Borrell, said that Israel's attempts to outlaw UNRWA and label it as a terrorist organization, an action which he rejected amounts to targeting regional stability and the human dignity of all those benefiting from the UN agency's work. He said in a report posted on X platform, we join many partners in urging Israel to halt this nonsense. Israel's war on the Gaza Strip since October 7, 2023 coincided with the launch of attacks on the UN Relief Agency in an attempt to liquidate the Palestinian refugee issue. The UN Security Council is set to hold a briefing today at the request of Algeria, China, and Russia on the situation in the Middle East, including the humanitarian situation in the war-torn Gaza Strip. Members will hear a briefing by UNRWA Commissioner General Philippe Lazzarini and another briefing by the UN Deputy Special Coordinator and Resident Humanitarian Coordinator at UNESCO, Mohamed Hadi. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, UNRWA, has said that hospitals in the Gaza Strip are being operated well beyond capacity after nearly 10 months of Zionist aggression against the Palestinian enclave. Frequent evacuation orders and incessant hostilities continue to further devastate the health system in Gaza, the UN agency said. People are unable to access essential health services, particularly those suffering from chronic diseases. UNRWA added, once again calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Palestinian enclave. The UN agency also pointed out that the inhabitants of the Gaza Strip are exhausted by constant displacement. They are leaving almost everything behind, taking what they can in their hands, it lamented. The Egyptian Foreign Ministry has said that Palestinian national reconciliation is extremely important in building the dream of an independent Palestinian state. The unity of the Palestinian line at this critical moment in the history of the nation is extremely important for the achievement of the dream of an independent Palestinian state, said Egyptian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Abu Zaid on the X social network. Egypt welcomes all international and regional efforts to achieve Palestinian national reconciliation, the most recent of which are the appreciated efforts of friendly China. On Sunday and Monday, China hosted a meeting of the various Palestinian factions with the aim of unifying their positions and achieving reconciliation on the ground. And while half a million inhabitants of Gaza still face catastrophic levels of hunger, 9 months of almost uninterrupted Zionist aggression has resulted in huge agricultural losses in the Palestinian enclave, UN humanitarian agencies have reported. Said Bouazi has more details in this report.
According to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, the ongoing Zionist aggression in Rafah and eastern Khan Yunis, where much of the agricultural production was concentrated before the war, has caused further damage to the greenhouses. The hostilities have also forced more people to leave their farms unattended, further destabilizing food systems. Agricultural activities, including small-scale gardening, remain suspended. The absence of a constant flow of seeds, fertilizers, and other inputs for livestock and crop production is a major obstacle to restoring local food production in Gaza. The consequences of the absence of the next agricultural season will likely be devastating for people's livelihoods, warned OCHA in its latest humanitarian situation report on the Palestinian enclave. In the Gaza Strip, agriculture takes up more than 40% of the land surface and produces around 20 to 30% of the food consumed daily. In a report published on 26 June, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization FAO indicated that the damage caused by the war to the agricultural sector is considerable. According to the Rome-based UN agency, households highly dependent on agriculture have lost up to 72% of their income. In addition, the number of livestock numbers are in free fall. In fact, a large proportion of the livestock used for meat and dairy products in Gaza has been slaughtered, consumed, or injured and lost as a result of the war. A recent analysis of satellite data carried out by the FAO had also shown the surface area of damaged agricultural land. More than half of the land, more than 57%, had been damaged in the whole of the Gaza Strip, according to a study carried out last May.
And with this, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Time now for our weekly program with my colleague Jamal Silmani with a special program on culture in Algeria. And with this, we leave you. We meet you again tomorrow for a fresh edition of our news bulletin. Until then, stay tuned to Radio Algeria International, and bye-bye for now.
Welcome to your weekly program, Destination Algeria. I'm Jamal Simani. There are a number of great destinations in Algeria just waiting to be discovered. A curious mixture of cultures and influences. Algeria has something interesting to see in just about every city. The country is also the first largest on the African continent, so you can be sure that there are plenty of towns and cities to visit. Let's visit Algeria's fascinating destinations, you and I, together. Today, in the first part, we introduce you to Algerian artist Mohamed Temam, who was born on the 23rd of February 1915. Mohamed Temam is remembered for his artistic skill and talent, particularly in the style of miniature painting and illumination. Visitors to the National Museum of Fine Arts, Musée des Beaux-Arts in Algiers, will have the opportunity of viewing several superb examples of this talented Algerian artist's work, which includes themes from his childhood, still life portrayals of traditional Algerian items, spectacular landscapes, and insightful portraits. His illumination works, decoration of texts and manuscripts, embraced folk art and Arab Muslim art with his own unique flair. Born in the Kasbah of Algiers, Mohamed Temam discovered his artistic talent at an early age when he attended an exhibition of works by Algerian artists, including Omar Rassim. Between 1928 and 1936, he attended the School of Traditional Arts, where he received tuition in various artistic mediums, including sculpture and woodwork, and received a number of prizes. He also tried his hand at ceramics in the studio of Mahieddin Sharad. In 1934, Temam exhibited 6 of his artworks at the 34th exhibition of the Society of Algerian Artists, 3 miniatures and 3 paintings. From 1934 through to 1938, he participated in numerous exhibitions, including the 13th Exhibition of Artistic Union of North Africa and a solo exhibition in Algiers. He also received a scholarship at the École Nationale Supérieure des Arts Décoratifs in Paris. In 1941, he received a silver medal at the 14th Exhibition of Artistic Union of North Africa, and in 1944 exhibited 12 of his artworks in an exhibition organized by Omar Rassim and the Franco-Muslim Circle of Algiers. In 1946, in a tour organized by Mohamed Rassim, Temam exhibited his works in Stockholm and Oslo. In 1960, together with a group of North African artists, he exhibited his works at the Club des 80 in Paris.